Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
I'm just going to get straight into it. I'm just going to get straight into this problem. I've had another camera break, ladies and gents. I've had another camera break. I'm raging. Oh, I'm in the Highlands of Scotland here as well. We'll get onto that in a second. But yeah, the Nikon Z7. Oh, there's a problem with, I don't know, like the mechanism where the lens attaches onto the camera itself, and then there's that, just for good measure, there's a problem with my Nikon 24-200 lens as well. So I'm going to have to get it sorted out. I'm going to have to be without it for a little bit. Unbelievable, man, absolute madness. But yeah, I can't be too down for a couple of reasons. Firstly, like I just said, we're in Scotland. I am buzzing. We're also out with another photographer as well, which I'll get onto in a second. And secondly, I've got my OM5 and I just feel so lucky. I've recently had 2 new lenses purely just by chance. You know, I didn't know that my Z7 was going to break on one of the lenses. I've got a 12-60. I'll perhaps chat about these in the video a little bit. A 12-60 f2.8 to f4. This is a Panasonic Leica lens. I've had this before. It's a really good lens. And then this is even, I think this is crazy. Olympus 7-14 wide-angle lens f2.8. I actually got this lens for videography. I didn't even think I'd ever use it. The whole purpose of buying this little OM5 was for it to be lightweight. So this big chunky wide-angle lens was never in the plans, but how lucky am I, you know, that I could just turn to this second camera system, like absolutely buzzing. So yeah, I'll chat about these lenses a little bit later on in the video, I suppose. But for now, I want to try and enjoy this location. So I'm once again out with Ian Worth, absolutely buzzing. We have booked a wonderful cottage in the middle of the Highlands of Scotland together for a week. And we're going to explore as many locations as we can and, you know, just really enjoy it. And this first location here is one that I've never been to before. A lot of you may recognise this. This is called Applecross or Applecross Pass. It's a really big pass road. And look how dramatic that is. We've come here really excited and enthusiastic, and then, I mean, the water here is pretty sparse, but we're going to try our best to make it work. And yeah, I think I'm probably going to start by just trying to get in close to these particular cascades here. Oh my gosh, this is slippy. I've got to watch myself here. So I've been at this little section of falls here, which, I mean, I've been upstream a little bit, and I mean, it's not looking great. This is the most amount of water we're getting in terms of all of them cascades, put it this way. Even though it's right next to the van, it's the first one that we've seen. It's also the obvious shot, but I'm just going to grab it because I think it's going to make for a half decent image. What I really do like is the drama that we're getting in these incredible mountains in the background. The sky's lovely as well. I mean, look, one good thing about the OM5 is that I don't need to faff around with a tripod. So I'm kind of free to be in this area here and fire off photographs at like 1/4 of a second. It's brilliant. So, although again, it's you know, it's quite obvious, that's the sort of photograph that I'm going for there. So you can see I'm just trying to frame the 2 cascades down at the bottom, and then that beautiful sort of dome-shaped peak off in the background. And although the sky may look quite bright there, it's you know, I'm really making sure I don't overexpose that because I want that drama up at the top of the image as well because it looks beautiful. So yeah, probably the obvious shot, but as I always say, and I've said a couple of times recently, it's just good to get an image on the memory card. So yeah, a couple of quite typical shots there really, but I hope they came out all right. And yeah, going back to the Z7, I was gutted. It happened literally the day before I was coming on this trip. It was like yesterday for me, and I didn't really realise that the Z7 was broken, but so lucky, like I said, that I've got this kind of Olympus system, this setup, and that I'd got these 2 lenses recently, pure chance. Like I said, I got this 7-14 f2.8, unbelievably good lens. I got it for like video more than anything, for my vlogs and stuff. And you know, an extremely capable wide-angle lens, you can't really get much better. So I feel so fortunate. And then this 12-60, this is what I wanted to talk about really. This is actually going to replace the Olympus 12-200 lens that I had. I've actually sold it because, to be honest, it was rubbish. At the telephoto end, it was so soft and the images were pretty much unusable. And obviously 12-60 versus 12-200, I'm losing out on a lot of those sort of telephoto capabilities. But firstly, I need the images to be at least acceptably sharp, you know, or else what's the use in having all that telephoto range if the images are coming out soft, you know? And also, I went through some of my Lightroom catalogue, some of my old photographs and stuff, and realised that when I shoot telephoto, especially when I'm in places like this, in the hills, I'm never actually getting that far in. A lot of my telephoto photographs are in at like full frame equivalent, 65mm, 80mm, you know, it's not actually that common that I even go over 100mm. So I think, we'll see, but I think this 12-60 lens is going to be absolutely fine. So it is what it is, that's it. I can't do anything about it. I've got this wonderful Olympus set up for my duration of this trip here with Ian, who I suppose we'll go and find now, see what he's up to. And yeah, I definitely want to see if I can make something else work from this location. So what I've been thinking about really since myself and Ian got here is how important it is as landscape photographers to try and be adaptable. You have to adapt to conditions, to the environment so much. It's such an important skill. Myself and Ian got here, we were visualizing that this river was going to be an absolute torrent. There was going to be loads of interest in foreground with all the moving water, but it just hasn't happened. It hasn't worked out that way. And yeah, I've been trying my best to adapt in this situation here by trying to photograph some of these beautiful, massive rocks here, just using them as foreground interest with the wide angle lens, the 7-14mm, like I was just chatting about. And yeah, just trying my best to adapt to the conditions. So what I'm doing is sticking the OM5 into monochrome mode, black and white. I'm trying to make use of all of these tones. I'll just show you here, look, there's some now. We just keep getting these wonderful little patches of light. They don't look much, but when you're shooting in black and white, they can look absolutely fantastic. So I'm trying to make the most of that. This is a wonderful foreground element. I've got a hope, I was going to say a feeling, but a hope that this image is going to come across really, really dramatic. Fingers crossed.
So I was quite happy with that photograph, and you know, just really enjoyed photographing something a little bit different and try not to get too fixated on these falls. And you can see Ian here, I think probably very much the same as me, was struggling a little bit. I mean, it was kind of our own fault. We came to this location and I think we actually used the term guaranteed photograph, and became a little bit of a joke for the rest of the week because it certainly wasn't a guaranteed photograph.
Oh, so me and Ian were pretty much just getting back to the van, and then all of a sudden, right off in the distance, just this kind of beautiful patch of light in, you know, that, you know, it's pretty rare, but when the light just hits the right section of the landscape to give you a photograph, it's happened here, it's incredible. This beautiful mountain, so much texture in the rock, and then just a perfectly placed, distant snow-capped mountain, and it is all about the light and the clouds a little bit, in fairness as well. Some incredible textures, just fantastic. So I can see Ian now, he's down at the little passing place sign, and yeah, we've just been firing off a few shots with the telephoto. In fact, this is going to be a really good test of the 12-60 lens, zoomed right in at 60mm, and I'm using the digital teleconverter on the OM5, which basically just crops into the image, makes it like, you know, 120mm, so like a 240mm. Before, I was talking about how I don't use like really long telephoto lens, but yeah, look at that light there, absolutely fantastic. I think that's going to be, unexpectedly, the best shot so far. And we're off to another location now, which is probably about an hour's drive, and I am buzzing to go there, absolutely buzzing. I've been there before, Ian's never been, I can't wait to show him. forecast is looking good, but I don't even want to mention that. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah, we'll head on there.
So it was now time for us to move on after enjoying probably a good 20 minutes of photographing that wonderful light. And as far as my photographs are concerned anyway, I was so happy with the results, and yeah, it was just an absolute joy. And we decided to actually head up the Applecross pass road really, and just whilst we were here, just see if there were any photographs to be had. And it was a brilliant drive, and there were loads of photographs to be had. And you know, this image here I was particularly happy with. It was almost like a panorama, shot it as a 16:9, and then this image as well. But yeah, I'd highly recommend that spot for people that perhaps can't get out hiking, or you know, perhaps have mobility issues. And then on the way to the Isle of Skye, which is where we were headed, we had to stop here at this wonderful, you know, mystical, fantasy-like castle, and I was really happy with this little photograph. It felt a bit of a touristy image, you know, but we had a couple of nice breaks of light, and it was nice. And then it was on over the Skye Bridge, and yeah, eventually to our next location, which I was excited for.
So we have made it to, let me spin you around, the fantastic Elgor. This is the point of interest for this evening's photo shoot, this incredible mountain range. And yeah, I am buzzing. I think I mentioned before, I've been here before, but I've always wanted to come back and just explore some more foreground interest. Ian's excited. I think I said this is his first time to the Highlands. This is his first time to the Isle of Skye, man. It is fantastic. So, whoa, yeah, a couple of hours till the sunset. We're just gonna kind of chill around, really hope that some of this incredible light over in this direction makes its way round here. So it could be a good one, but all in all, I just want to enjoy the evening's photography, you know, with my Olympus. So this is what I was talking about here, you know, you've got that kind of backdrop of all the mountains, but then look at all the different opportunities for foreground. Like, this is a well photographed spot, you know, with this mountain backdrop, but you can get something somewhat original because there's so much foreground interest, so many different options, so much variety. You know, I said this when I last came here, but I think the goal is hopefully to try and get down by the waves and, you know, capture the motion of the water as it's crashing up, and of course just try and find some interesting foreground to complement that incredible backdrop. So we have been having a little bit of an explore around. It's been great. Like, you know what? It's just so lovely to get somewhere early for the sunset. You know, it's still even now about an hour and a half till the sunset. But yeah, we've kind of come a bit further down the bay than I did when I last came here, just to explore a bit, see if there's any more opportunities. It's pretty nice, but we're thinking, you may even be able to see it off in the distance around here somewhere, but we're thinking, yeah, around about where Ian is now actually is going to be the best spot for some nice potential foregrounds. And I mean, all we're doing is hoping that something happens with this. The sun's probably going to set around about here somewhere. You can see there's just this kind of teasing little strip on the horizon. It's not telling us what it's going to do at all, but yeah, I'm going to go back there with Ian now and, you know, just start looking for foreground interest. And we can't do anything about the light, the conditions, you know, that is completely at the mercy of the elements and remains to be seen. As I move on back, I would love to say another massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So if you've never heard of Squarespace, they're an all-in-one platform that you can use to build your own website. Do not be intimidated by the prospect of building your own website. I know it could be scary, overwhelming, intimidating, but with Squarespace, honestly, it is so easy. They've got loads of professional looking templates that you can use. You add a little bit of text, a few images, and before you know it, your website will be good to go, up and running. My own website is through Squarespace, and it's where I sell all of my products. You know, my ebooks, my one-to-one workshops get advertised on there, calendars, all sorts. And you know, you can have that as well through your Squarespace website. They've got plenty of e-commerce packages, and like I always say, I wouldn't be able to run my business without it. Now, once you've made your website, it will automatically look fantastic on mobiles, on tablets, on computers, without you having to do anything. It's brilliant. And to top it all off, look, Squarespace have got fantastic award-winning customer service. In fact, and it just makes it all the more easy. I'm really proud of my own website that is built through Squarespace if you want to go and have a look. But yeah, if you want to give Squarespace a go, head over to squarespace.com/Henry Turner or click on the link below in the video description. That'll get you a 14-day free trial. So you've got nothing to lose at all. You may as well give it a go. And if you enjoy your free trial, if you like the result, you like your website, make sure to use the offer code Henry Turner at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase. So I'm just taking a few images here. You can see we've got the beautiful backdrop there. And then I've just found this nice little channel here, and I'm trying to capture the shot as the wave makes its way in this little gap here. Just like this one, we need a little bit more venom. That one was quite good. But yeah, great thing about the OM5 is, of course, the image stabilization is so good. I'm not having to use a tripod. So I've got the 3-stop ND filter on. You may be able to see the ND8 icon there. So we're using a digital ND filter, which is fantastic, and that is allowing us to get a 1/3 of a second shutter speed at f7.1. I've really stopped down with this image because we've got a lot of depth from right down in here in the foreground to obviously the mountains in the background and beyond. But like I said, it's all about waiting for the right moment when the waves makes its way up here and then makes its way back out. This one's looking pretty decent. Yeah. Yeah, so we're just looking, I'll show you, spin you back around again. If you look over this, look at that little section, little strip there. So, you know, of course we don't want to get too excited, but goodness me, if the sun could just break out for, you know, give us 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that would be fantastic. And I mean, yeah, if we can get any of that lit in the background, that would be wonderful. So I think now is probably the time to kind of lock in a composition. This is what I try to do, lock in a composition and just stick with it. Just trust yourself, stick with it, and then pray that you're going to get a little bit of light. Oh, no way. Look at that, ladies and gents. I think it's happening exactly like we just sort of mentioned. We hoped, we didn't want to say it too much to try not jinx it, but oh, wow, wow. Look at that. So at the minute, look at this, the foreground's starting to get lit up, and I mean, even if the background stays dark like that, it's fantastic. In a sense, I'd almost say that's better, because then you've got the contrast between that glow over there and that gloominess. And yeah, I'm just playing around with, again, another little channel down here, look. Just trying it in a sort of portrait, quite similar to the last image. And then I'm trying a few down there in landscape orientation, and I think that those are going to be the photographs. But look at this, see, look how it's just bouncing around in here. And I mean, look at this, I'll show you, look, big wave coming in now. There, that is when to grab the shot, as it makes its way into that channel. But same as last time, it's just about choosing the right moment. Oh, this light is stunning. So you know what, that was brilliant. I think it got to the point where I wasn't expecting there to be any light. So when it came through in that little gap, it was just incredible. I think those are the best ones, when your expectations are low. The expectations were gone. I was just thinking, well, it's a beautiful dramatic scene, as Elgol always is, and so be it. We'll take some nice compositions, try find some, you know, real strong foregrounds, but that was absolutely incredible. So we'll probably stick around for the next 10-15 minutes or so just to see if there's any sort of like post sunset glow or anything. But I think myself and Ian are going to head back to the cottage now and get some food. It's burgers on the menu, and Nikon Z7's broke for now, but all is well, it seems. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would love you to join me next week. Please hit the subscribe button and you'll get notified when that video gets released, and do comment down below. I always love so much to hear from you. Thanks a million. See you on the next adventure. Out.
you.